Hello everyone. Kat is here. You might wonder what is she doing here because she doesn't usually do the live video thing. Well, there is a reason why because I was interviewed earlier by my friend Larry Goodman, and it took me like more than 20 minutes to uh, to prepare for the interview because that was more or less my first video interview. I always said I'm usually unshowered. I'm always in my PJs, so I'm more comfortable if I just, appear on audio interview instead of video. But he didn't take no for an answer. So then, okay, I said, let me reschedule and do it today. So, and the interview was only for 20 minutes, and I said, wow, I got ready for more than 20 minutes, so I didn't want this go to waste, everyone. So here I am for the first time ever. So pardon me if I made any mistake. I'm gonna answer your questions live, and this is the Katarina Estate. This is the place that you will come to for the retreat. So get ready, folks. I would love to see you, and we gonna learn so much about everything about man, love, relationship, and life uh, in this beautiful home. Okay, but right now I would just try to answer a few questions that came earlier today. The first one is from Abby. My main guy gave me a key to his place after a night of great sex, then has been sort of quiet ever since. Is this rubber banding? And here the second one from Michelle, also touching about the same subject. Um, my ex and I just saw each other for the first time in 2 years. Last time we saw each other was during the breakup. We spent last night into today together and had an amazing time, full of laughs, smiles, amazing sex 3 times. Ooh, good food and talking. I love the sex and good food part. He was obviously happy and pleased. I haven't heard from him since he dropped me off at home, which I expected. Is this a normal rubber banding behavior? God, ladies, we have so many of these questions about rubber banding in the group. What is rubber banding? Does it happen like anytime or only when you are in a serious relationship? According to my expert opinion and my own experience, yes, it can happen anytime. It can happen during the first few weeks, the first few months, the first few years, or even when you have lived together. Men, sometimes they just withdraw. For sometimes there is no good reason for that. Sometimes there are good reasons for that. So in this case, from Abby, my main guy gave me a key to his place after a night of great sex. Obviously, giving you a key is like the next step of the relationship, meaning the relationship has gone a little bit deeper. Though, if he hasn't said that you are my girlfriend, that I don't want to see you, I don't want you to see other guys, or he hasn't claimed you in any way, don't start assuming. So, but that is a good development because a guy who doesn't like you wouldn't give you the key to his apartment. So yeah, it's partly claiming, but don't jump up and down. Don't get ahead of yourself first. Just observe his behaviors for the next whatever, few weeks, few months. See how it goes. Now, to the question, is he rubber banding after a night of great sex? Yeah, most likely than not, yes. A guy will need a time to himself more often than not after a period of intimacy, especially after a great night together, a great weekend getaway. So they want to be themselves and start doing things that they haven't done. And it doesn't mean that they do it consciously. No, a lot of times guys just they enter their own little world, their own private world, not thinking that they're pulling away. No, they're just doing their own thing. So do not ever think that guys do it on purpose Sometimes they do because they know, like, wow, this is getting deeper. This is how a guy thinks. What is the next step after this? The next step is we're going to be in a relationship, right? And then what happens after we're in a relationship? She will start making demands. She will start, you know, uh, sort of uh, creating scenario in her head that what is the next steps going to be? What is the things that I need to do as a boyfriend, and so on and so forth. Guys have that kind of experience with most women they date. They usually don't have much say because the women take over, and you don't want to be that woman. So whenever he just takes his time to sort of collect his thoughts, to be just with himself, to reassess his feelings, let him be. Let him be. And he will love you so much more because of that. Because, wow, Abby is so fantastic. She doesn't like text me, blow up my phone, asking me where I am, where this is going. And when a day or two passes, or however long it takes for them just to sort of like be with themselves, they will begin to think, hey, I'm missing Abby again. Let me call her. And it's so much better than compare if you call him first and, hey, but how how your how has your week been going? Why haven't I heard from you? It's not gonna be as special to you as when he reaches out first. So let him just decide the pace he's comfortable with. Okay, it might sound like you're just like a doormat to do that, but no, since you're not really, if he hasn't claimed you, you're single. So act single. You talk to other guys. It's not a problem. So that is the first question. The second question from Michelle. So I just read it. My ex and I just saw each other for the first time in 2 years. Okay. So and then we spent last night into today together and had an amazing time full of laughs, smiles, amazing sex 3 times. My God. Good food and talking. He was obviously happy and pleased. I haven't heard from him since he dropped me off at home, which I expected. Is this no more uh, rubber banding behavior? Honey, Michelle, it was last night. This is here. It's still 4:52 p.m. So I don't know where you are, but it's not even 24 hours yet. Just leave the guy alone for now. Yeah, he enjoyed it. He was obviously having a great time with you, and let him miss you. And he won't miss you if you come banging on his door. What's wrong? Okay. Hello. I'm back. I'm sorry. The connection failed, so I'm now in a different part of the home. So where were we? So I was talking about Michelle's boyfriend, right? Ex-boyfriend. So just let him be, Michelle. Trust that he will come back and contact you. So and by the way, it's a good thing that you got back together in a way. Not got back yet, but you're back in touch. Okay. So let me go to the next question. All right. What are the questions? All right, let's see the question here. Oh my God. This is from Connie. What if they call you out for not, oh, what if they call you out for not talking for a while and have been out of state, yet claims he has a girlfriend after a week or two of being back home? I don't think I buy that he has a chick anyways. You know what? When a guy says, why don't you call me? Why don't you text me? You can return the question, why don't you? Really? That is like, obviously, um, he asked that question because he doesn't really care about you, to be honest. Because a guy who's into you, a guy who cares, they will call you or they will text you at least, right? So if he's not in touch and then he kind of like gaslight on you, saying because you haven't contacted him, you haven't called him, just put him in his place. Why don't you? I mean, do not even try to sort of like go on extra length explaining why, you don't call and all that. Really, just keep it going, moving, keep it moving. Move on to guys who choose you. Really, don't stay around expecting a guy to want you. If he's not showing with his actions, he really doesn't want you, and it's okay. And I understand you choose him first, right? That's your problem there. You shouldn't choose a guy first. Let a guy choose you first. And you decide if you want to give him a chance or not. If not, then you keep it moving, right? So it's very simple. So let's see what other questions we have here. I'm just reading your stuff here, ladies. Okay, this is from Carrie. What if my very recent ex-fiance that I'm living with again claims me in person and to everyone we see in person, but not at all on Facebook, when he previously was very aggressive about that? It's an ex-fiance. Uh, well, whatever it is, whatever mileage in your relationship, he has to define that first. He has to decide. So whether or not he wants to broadcast it on Facebook or not, it's really up to him. As a woman, you just respond and be receptive. Don't try to make him, let's have our relationship status on Facebook updated and all that. Don't. That is pressure. So let him just do whatever he wants to do. And you just focus on you. Take care of yourself. So if he claims you again, you just have to observe. Does his actions match his words? When he says, we are an item again, we are back together again, does he support that with his actions? Or it's just words? If it's just words, you keep dating. Really, it's very simple with a guy. Talk less, okay? You just show it with your actions that you mean business. If you're not in my life, if you're not pursuing me, then you're not that interested in me. And it's okay. But I'm not going to wait around for you because I got better things to do. That's all you need to do, right? So no prolonged discussion about where this relationship is going and all that nonsense. Don't do that. Be a different woman. Be a cat woman. Okay. So anyone else has questions? Let me see here. We still have question here. Here's from Amanda. I'm seeing a police officer whose schedule isn't set and he often has to work late or is called in unexpectedly. The last few times we were supposed to meet up, he didn't get out of work in time. And tonight, it's the same. Our plans are tentative depending on when he gets out of work or if he gets out tonight. I like him a lot and I'm trying to be flexible, but I'm not sure how to handle this. Part of me wants to be like, hey, if you can't commit to set a date, then I'm sorry, this isn't going to work. But also I'm understanding of his tough schedule and demands of his job. Help. Okay, Amanda. So if you know in your heart that he's got really a tough schedule and he always has to be on call 24/7, then just adjust to it. Know in your heart that, whenever he calls you, he plans something, it might not always materialize, and it's okay. Be okay with it. So if you already prepared from the get-go that you know that whenever you say, hey, I would like to take you out tonight at 8 p.m., you know in your heart it might not happen. So you do whatever you need to do. If some other offer comes up, if something better comes up, grab it. Really, you just adjust to his style. And if he say complains because I thought we agreed at 8 p.m. to go for sushi, and you can say, I'm sorry, but the last 3 times it didn't come through. So with you, I already adjust that whenever you say we're gonna do something, I don't have any expectation in my heart until I see it for real that it's happening. No need to get all bent out of shape, angry, I'm upset. Just adjust to the fact, embrace what is. It's very simple, right? Okay, let's see what else. What other questions do you have? Here from Melanie. Any suggestions on trying to date in a country where the concept of dating does not exist? Oh, and where do women outnumber the men? And I asked, which country is that? She said, Trinidad and Tobago. So, then I asked, what do you do? So if you don't date, what do you do? So I've tried meeting guys whenever I travel, but who wants a long-distance relationship? So I asked again, how do you meet guys in your country and how do marriages happen? And she said, I joined a local singles group and the options were either too young or not into dating. They believe in one-to-one. Okay, I asked again, if you don't date, how do you decide whom to marry? Melanie said, if I go out with a guy, I'm supposed to go out with him only and not see others because then society labels you as a whore, etc. I know, I've heard it so many times from either women in Europe. Oh, we don't do rotation in here. We date one man at a time, which is fine and dandy if the man is committed to you. What if, he sees you one day and then doesn't talk to you in 2 weeks? How are you going to just see one man who is not around most of the time? Doesn't even make sense. So I said to Melanie, or whoever you are, as long as it is safe for you, like you don't live in the Middle East, that you can harm your life for dating different men, really, just put the guys in rotation. So, so what if they're going to talk bad about yourself? It's your life. Until they pay your bills, you shouldn't care. If they start paying your bills, then yeah, maybe you will listen a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. I think it's just a case of you being too self-conscious about it. Okay? If you meet a guy once or twice, it doesn't mean that you go steady with him. So you will have to meet other guys. It's just the name of the game. So don't feel bad about it. Why do you care what people say? Right? So, other questions? Let's see. Oh, this is from Tasha. Tasha want to know, how can we attract more money? How can we achieve our dream life? This is an interesting question and has so many levels in it. How did I attract money? I don't have any definite answer to that other than that I love what I do and I do what I love. So ask yourself what you love doing that you're good at, but you have to be good at what you do too. Cannot just like, oh, I love singing, but you sing like a goat being slaughtered, then it's not gonna go, it's not gonna fly. So I'm gonna talk about it at length in my, probably part of it in my retreat and a little, much deeper in my business or coach certification programs next year. So you might want to sign up for that. But the brief history, how I attracted money, it's because I I love what I do, really. I don't work a day in my life. That's the key. So I said to Tasha, don't work a day in your life and you'll be rich. Meaning that you and your work are one. Doesn't mean that your work rules you, but you embody your work. That's what makes you so successful, because you have faith in what you do. You love what you do. And you know that your contribution to society helps changing lives. So yeah, you have to have products too. You have to have things that you can sell, that you know that people love. But the bottom line is, do not even try so hard in your head to sort of crack this money-making code. It's not how it works. All the time in my younger years, I was always thinking, how could I make money? How? And I spent so many hours thinking about how to make money, and I made zero money. So really the key is not to think more. Try to think less. And this is very counterintuitive, I know that. But the more you think, the more energy you spend on stuff that doesn't really matter. And the most energies that you spend on is thinking. We have like 70,000 thoughts every single day. And about 99% of them are useless, junk, stupid thoughts. So if you ask me why you're not making enough money, of course you're not making enough money, because most of your energies go to thinking of things that don't really matter, that makes you stressed out, that makes you unhappy, that makes you depressed. Then you don't have enough energy to focus on things that really matter, that improve your life. That is the only reason. And you might be surprised that I say that. So instead of worrying about making money, really just cultivate silence in your mind space. The more you could be happy, be okay in the silent mind, the more you will see what I'm trying to say to you. Because what I'm teaching you is not mind stuff. It is experiential. You have to experience it yourself. You have to see it firsthand to really understand. So if you try to approach it from the mind with the intellect, you won't get there. So instead of worrying about what I can do to make more money, try to just be. If you know to how just be, you will know how to make money. I can assure you that. Okay? All right, let's see some other questions here. XEUM texted wishing me a happy holiday. I'm wondering if it was a good idea to respond you too, or should have I ignored? It depends. How do you feel about him? How do you feel about that text in a moment? You know, if you want to respond, you can respond. Yeah, you too. That's fine. That's warm enough. Since he is an ex-EUM, if you want to ignore. Really, there's no rule to it. But if you still want him back, yeah, maybe, you know, and you always in the past have been always luring with vinegar, you might want to change that by luring with honey. You know, just responding without expectations. And again, if you take care of yourself, if you see other guys, then it's okay what you do with the EUM. Okay? It's not okay if you only have one egg, which is have all your eggs in one basket, which is his basket. That's what's not okay. But if it's one of many, go ahead, do whatever you like. Don't make it so complicated. Here from Jennifer, my boyfriend, who stopped putting forth effort like 3 weeks ago, just texted me, so should I move on? I've just been leaning back and keeping busy because he hasn't asked to make weekend plans. And I lean back and observe his actions. How do I respond to his question in a catgirl way? So he's been putting effort in 3 weeks. To me, that he is in a downgraded position. So if a guy doesn't act like a boyfriend for 3 weeks, he's down on the list. So meaning I start talking to other guys again. You know, it's just, this how I operate naturally. No talk, no nothing, just downgrade. So he texts me, what does he say in the text? If he says, hey, how are you? You say, I'm good, how are you? If he say, hey, do you want to see me for dinner or lunch, blah, blah, blah. See how you feel moment to moment. If you want to go, then yes, sure. Really, just easy, simple. Keep it simple, okay? Here, another one from Araceli. Kat, if said not ready, why he's seeing someone 2 hours away and call her a girlfriend, sees her once per month? So how do you know he sees her once per month? It's not, to me, seeing a guy once a month just because it's 2 hours away is not boyfriend. No. So he can call her whatever, but his actions, the real substance is in his actions. Okay, so if he only sees her once a month, that is not boyfriend, girlfriend. Not for me anyway. He can call her whatever. Maybe because he demands that he calls her girlfriend. You know, sometimes guys would follow your wish. You know, oh, you want exclusivity? Sure, we're exclusive. Oh, you want a girlfriend title? Sure, I give you a girlfriend title. But then he wouldn't call you for a week or 2 weeks. It doesn't matter to him. You know, he just gives you whatever you, tells you whatever you want to hear. So don't fall for it. You know, the only real indication of a guy's intention about you is in his actions. Doesn't matter what he says. Okay? So forget what he says. Just focus on what he does. And this is Diana. What happens if a long distance guy texts you and calls a lot, and then you meet him and he slows things down and texts every few days to say hi? We had a great weekend, but not sure of his intentions. How do I know what his intentions are? Again, Diana, you only know what his intentions are through his actions. If you hear him now and nothing for 3-4 days, then his intentions are he doesn't know himself, or he's not interested. Okay, so just keep it moving. I know the reason you ask is because you like him, but whether or not you like a guy is not why you should pine for him. He has to choose you first, and he hasn't chose you. So keep it moving. Okay, anything else? Let's see another one here. Here's from, let's see, from Mandy Jean. Living and loving without fear, without the need for certainty or security. I believe that that I do that in my childhood. I manipulate situations for security, which really destroys my security. What are daily mantras you practice? I don't have mantras. It's just about, as I said, about thinking less. As you release more space in your mind, you will start understanding things that I talk about. Until then, you will always try to intellectualize what I say, and it's not how you do it. You have to see it firsthand. So you can practice meditation, for example. That is how you practice mindfulness. You practice being in the moment. You practice how to just be. You practice cultivating the gaps between thoughts. That's how you start. First, you have to be aware of your thoughts first. To be aware of your thoughts, You have to be aware of the gap between thoughts. You have to be aware of the silence of the mind or in the mind. And the more you practice, the more you will see what I talk about every day on my status update. Whatever I say is my inner sharing, it's my inner process. But these can be verified by each one of you in your own time, because we are all one and the same underneath all these layers of false selves that I call the egos. We are all one and the same. Our mind works the same. And our mind, so far you're not awake, will always define who you are. But you are not your mind. You are the master of your mind. But unless you are awake, you won't realize it. Okay? So it's very important for you just to do the practice. You just surrender to the moment. You try to be mindful of every phenomenon that arises, that takes place, and that passes away in your consciousness. That's all you need to do. And one day everything will come into place. If you want to know for more, please attend my retreat. That will be on the 1st through 4th of September. And I will teach you everything about that I've known in the journey, about mindfulness, how about living in the moment, how about living so abundantly, how to create your own reality. Like this is my reality. This is my reality, ladies. And I do it without striving. Striving is ego. You can achieve what you always wanted in life without striving. And I will teach all of that. What does it mean to not striving and get your business going, get everything you ever want in life, get the abundance, the success, the financial independence, the being able to travel around the world whenever you want. I will teach all that in the next year's coach and business program, coach certification program, that includes the stuff that I know that I teach you guys, ladies, with so much, with so high success rate, and also the business side of it, how you market yourself, how you create a brand, how you deal with website issues, how to write in a very powerful way, how to basically just how to be yourself. You can do all these business things while being yourself, because I am just myself 24/7. I'll never try to be somebody else. That's why I don't like videos and all these things, because I don't see myself as a public figure like that. I don't see myself as a celebrity. I'm actually scared being famous, so being celebrity. I don't want to be famous. But it's only today that guy Larry, if you listen to me, this is your fault, okay? You created a monster. All right. Here's from Teresa. Teresa says, you're very wise. Thank you, Teresa. My boyfriend stopped spending the night. He doesn't want to get serious because he was married for 26 years now and now divorced. I got him to see a therapist, and he's seeing one weekly. He speaks he wants to grow all together, but actions don't match his words. He calls, texts every day, but he doesn't want to give me a title. Why do we have to have one? He has 3 serious relationships, and I think he's burned out. He loves me, but I stopped loving him. Okay, Teresa, why do you call him a boyfriend then? If he doesn't want to give you a title, then, you give what he wants. You want casual? Great, let's do casual. You see what it means? Meaning you go out with other guys. So, beat him at his own game. Don't start trying to convince him, the back, and try to sort of make sense. That's a waste of time, really. You know, just be easy to lose. Be easy to lose. Have you read my book? Attend one of my programs, and everything will make sense. So when you're easy to lose, he will start fearing losing you. How long have you been together? So if he doesn't spend the night anymore at your place and he doesn't call you a girlfriend, then don't act like a girlfriend. It's very simple. Okay? So you put your money where his mouth is. His mouth says you're not a girlfriend. You bet I'm not your girlfriend. That's how you act with guys, okay? Not not in a in a vinegary way, but in a sort of like, yeah, all right, you don't want to be my boyfriend, that's fine. There'll be other guys who want me. Really, act like that and believe it too. Now from Athena, I'm not dating. I'm in a relationship. But what if he is showing no interest in sex? Has he turned off me, or is he doing something deceitful? He is often on his phone. He says he is tired, but he is a guy, and guys always want intimacy. No, that is your assumption, Athena. Guys don't always want intimacy, especially in a long-term relationship. No, their testosterone levels drops significantly, because when they are single, they have to chase skirts, right? So they got that boost of testosterone from chasing skirts, because they have to peacock. Let's say, they have to put on their best performance to attract girls. Now, once he's in a relationship, all that gone, all that motivation and necessity to always put on the best performance is no longer there, So you're no longer in that period, and it's normal for the sex to go down too. The problem is when women start reading like cosmopolitan articles that how to spice up your sex so you have sex every single day. So that sort of message, which is what messes you up. Sex in a relationship, it will be burning the first 2 years, and it will settle, it will go down naturally after that. And it's to be expected, because otherwise you'll be dehydrated, for God's sake. You cannot have sex 24/7, So actually, the reality of the situation is, and I know this is brought so much in the group. Why is my boyfriend or my husband or my partner so not interested in sex anymore? It's because of that. Because of it's a natural progression in the relationship, and that when you are more connected emotionally and spiritually, the physical aspect of the relationship will naturally take a back burner. It's not something to be concerned. Apart from that, maybe you're feeling neglected, and then you feel horny and you don't know what to do, right? I understand that. I've been there too. So, but that is something actually to celebrate. It shows that your relationship has deepened. So, equip yourself with a good vibrator or two. How's that? And that, provided that he doesn't check out on other aspects of the relationship. So Athena, ask yourself, how has he been, other than the sex part? Has he always been attentive to you? So only you know that. But I'm telling you, girls, whoever you are or you're going to be with in a relationship, sooner or later, sex won't be as important anymore. Yeah, there are a handful of couples who have sex like rabbit steals in 20 years into their relationship, maybe one or two in the world, but they're not the standards. Okay, so don't get yourself duped by these sort of popular articles that just makes you an anxious mess, thinking that what do I do wrong? What's wrong with our relationship? There's nothing wrong with your relationship if sex is the only problem. Okay. And to be honest with you, once you get to that point in which he has his own rhythm, maybe once a week for sex, it's going to be very hard for you to change that. So you just have to ask yourself, is this the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with just once a week sex or once a month, whatever, you know? But then you cannot also at the same time leave a relationship until you are totally over it, totally done. So just surrender to what is, surrender to the reality of your relationship right now, because that's the best thing you can do. I will talk so much more about this in the module 5 of feminine magnetism, which is salvation through relationship. What does it mean? What does it mean to surrender relationship moment to moment? You don't have to make a decision right there, right here, right now. A lot of times we don't have to make a decision at all. We just have to observe. We just have to be aware, and things will go up and down. Things change. Nothing is permanent. So if right now your relationship is kind of like going on like a kind of stagnant, on a stagnant path, or feels stagnant to you, it's normal. You just have to ride it through. It will change to something else 2 weeks from now. So do not dwell on problems. Okay, it's not even a problem most of the time. Even in my relationship, sometimes we don't talk for 2 days because he's upset about something and his feelings are hurt. So I'll let him be. I'm good not talking for 2 days or 3 days, and then because I'm a busy person, I always do something. Yeah, and then naturally we're gonna go back together again after 2 or 3 days. Then we are fine again. We don't even talk about what happened unless he wants to. Usually, yeah, he wants to talk about it. But for me, I'm not. Whatever happened 2 or 3 days ago, it's done deal. It's a done deal. I cannot undo it. Cannot get it back. So just move on. So I'm like a Teflon. Nothing sticks. That's why my life is so easy. My relationship is so easy because I'm empty inside. I'm an empty-headed person, and I'm very proud of it. Okay. All right. So this is Diana again. I did have sex with him on the third day when he was here. He is very old school and wondering if he thinks I'm low value because of this and has changed his mind about us, or am I thinking this too much? Yes, I think you are overthinking this too much. Okay. Oh. So, just build good memories, build good connection whenever you are together, and then you let go. Lather, rinse, repeat. That's how you do it. Do not overthink things, especially things that that are already in the past. It's no use for that. Okay. So let's see. Who else here? So Athena again. Yes, he has been a great partner. He is a wonderful father. I just miss the rabbit humping sex. I know, hon. I know. But, if you want sex, I always tell my clients, if you want great, glorious sex, don't be in a relationship. You have more sex when you're single. I'm serious. Once you're in a relationship, especially after 2 years, it's like we're so comfortable with each other. We no longer have mystery about each other. And sex is great when when there is still a lot of things to explore about each other, right? When there is still a mystery about each other. But, but then you have something else other than sex that you don't have unless you're in a relationship. That partnership, that companionship, that knowing that someone has your back no matter what, that is precious too. That is, to me right now, is better than sex. Okay, so just have your priorities straight. Okay, ladies, I think that is enough for the first time. It's 45 minutes. Oh, actually I just planned for like 20 minutes, but I know I can never talk shortly. I always have to elaborate, belabor, and on and on and on and on. That's why my classes are so long. But thank you for the experience. Maybe I'll have it once a week from now on. So just stay tuned, okay? Thank you, everyone. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Bye bye.